So I wanted to continue with the conversation about, welcome back to those of you who are either new or returning. Appreciate you. So my focus lately has been on what's changed so much. And obviously this channel is really dedicated to at least helping us men understand. You can't fix anything without understanding, first of all, what's wrong, if something's wrong, like what's broken, and how you can fix it. And a lot of people just give what is it, advice on doing things, and there's no real understanding with people. And people need. I'm a why person. I have to know the why behind stuff before I can fully commit to making a change. And if the why doesn't make sense, I'll move on. Like Bruce Lee said, take the good, insert that, and move on, right? And so the goal here is to really go through stuff so that we understand. And if you want to get your advice from somewhere else, that's cool. I don't know if I want to necessarily give advice. I just want to break down concepts. That's really what I like to do, is break down concepts. And so the last time we had a talk, I think I was talking about the absence of natural friction. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that was the last video. And so more information has come up into why natural friction is so important. And in our environment now, which is mostly digital, you're here watching this video, there was an absolute absence of natural friction. For instance, you can't feel my breath as I'm speaking. You don't see my whole body here in the video. I'm not even looking directly at you. So you can't see into my eyes, right? Like you can see me, but you don't feel my energy. And that's so big. So we talked about, natural friction. First of all, Mel Robbins, I was watching a video of hers the other day, and there was an MIT study done that found that proximity is a key factor in the development of friendships, relationships in general. And the study showed that people who are physically closer to each other are more likely to form friendships, and it takes about 3 months of regular interaction for a friendship to develop. We don't interact with each other. In fact, most people, you see so many people talking about how they hate people, how people suck, da da da. And people are so anxious to get back to their house. People don't hang out after work anymore. Like we really used to go to happy hour after work. Like that's crazy when you think about it. We don't do that anymore. COVID kind of stopped a lot of the physical interaction that we used to have with people. And now people are really so into their very, very small circle that it's hard to come out of it because we're interacting so much online. Like people spend a lot of time on their phones. A lot of time. And so when you think about natural friction, the thing from Mel Robbins is that they talked about the time that it takes. And so Mel Robbins was describing this study, and it takes around 50 hours for someone to be considered a casual friend. 90 hours for someone to be considered a friend, just a regular friend. And 200 hours, double that, for someone to be considered a close friend. Close. And so people who get out of relationships, this is why it's so hard for you, because you've spent so much time with that one person. And in the environment that we're in now, where everything's digital, it's very hard to start developing that with somebody else because it takes 3 months of regular interaction. How many times are you ghosting somebody, or is somebody ghosting you? 3 months of regular interaction. And with the absence of natural friction, which is natural friction in relationships refers to the small conflicts and challenges that naturally arise when people interact closely. These moments of friction can actually be beneficial as they help build resilience and understanding in the relationship. Without this natural friction, relationships can become superficial and lack depth, making it harder to form meaningful connections. And it's so crazy to me how people at the first sign of conflict run. People run at the first sign of conflict. And that's in a digital environment, there is no natural friction. And if we're constantly interacting in a digital environment, if there's no natural friction, if you're trying to develop a meaningful relationship or friendship with somebody else, which takes 3 months of regular interaction, 50 hours just to be considered a casual friend, 90 hours to be considered a friend, and 200 hours to be considered a very close friend. And we're used to not having any friction at all. If you run at the first sign of conflict, which helps you understand the person, you will never be able to develop a meaningful relationship ever over the course of your life as we move forward in a digital environment. And it's just the craziest thing to me to think about how people are so quick to run from any sort of conflict. They call it red flags. You're labeling people narcissists, and you don't know this person at all. We label people without even spending time with them at all. We label them and we close ourselves off. And so proximity and natural friction are both important for developing strong friendships and romantic relationships. Proximity provides the opportunity for regular interaction, which takes 3 months of interaction, right? And natural friction helps build resilience and understanding. And if you're not willing to go through that, you're not going to develop any meaningful connections ever. That's really all I got for today. I didn't want to take too long today with this, but there may be some more information on this coming. I have to check. I have to do a little bit more research onto this because I do want to give you an answer. There is no answer right now. I think that this video was meant to give you some information on making your own decision regarding people that you encounter, especially for women. I know women a lot are on dating apps. I don't go on those. I'd rather be by myself than date using dating apps. And so, because again, we're talking about organic development of relationships, and you cannot develop anything organically through an app. It's just too hard. Even if you meet somebody on an app, the text message interaction first, and then maybe you meet that person. But again, 3 months of regular interaction, so you're never going to be a true friend with this person. And it's going to be so hard to go through conflict and conflict resolution without you running. That's what people are so used to doing now. So I don't know what it's going to take to change that, but we have become so used to interacting without natural friction that the relationships will absolutely become superficial and lack depth. People run at the first sign of conflict. People run at the first sign of somebody not interacting how they want them to interact. And it can be so frustrating. So it can hurt people in a way because people think something's wrong with them. And that's not the case. So stay well. I'm going to do a little bit more research and hopefully try to come back with an answer. And we're going to keep diving on this subject. So I'll talk to you guys later.